Well, I got cut off unexpectedly, but that's okay. I remember in the beginning, the Jilly juice attracted a lot of the highly religious types. And so, and so it was interesting because I was influenced a lot in the beginning of rolling out Jilly juice by people in the very, very super Christian world that were focusing on the conspiracies of the MK Ultra and all of the Illuminati stuff. And then another very religious crowd really glommed on to the Jilly juice. I guess they're the Hebrew crowd. And what was the attraction? What the attraction was the fact that there was a specific diet that almost seemed like it was biblical. Okay, yeah, because there was a lot of discrimination in the Jilly Juice protocol with the diet because it was only chicken and eggs and fruits and vegetables, raw seeds, raw nuts, and all the good oils, right? And that was predicated upon the holistic crowd that also had specific religions, and they didn't believe in eating pork. They didn't believe in eating. It was all about clean eating and whatever that is. And so, yeah, there was a lot of attraction. Whenever there is a discrimination in your diets, this is when then all the different discriminatory groups start glomming on to that specific ideology. And so, and then of course, the whole living forever, living indefinitely. Well, yeah, there was some of that people, that wasn't really the origination of the Jilly Juice protocol, was the whole living forever, living indefinitely. That actually came about way later on. But yeah, I mean, looking back on how the Jilly Juice, who was attracted to it, it makes sense why certain types of people were attracted to the original Jilly Juice protocol, because it was very highly discriminatory. And so then, when you realize that when you're discriminating in your food supply, when you're discriminatory in your food supply, then you're discriminatory in your politics, religion, and science. And so right there is proof that discrimination in your diet will lead to discrimination in everything else that you're doing out there. And so if we're going to unify the world, right, at the cellular level, you can't discriminate in your food supply. Everything has a balance. Everything has a place. Everything has a purpose. And to discriminate is then to deprive your body, mind, and spirit of taking advantage of the universe to your benefit. Okay? And so, yeah, so as I look back on the past and all the different people that I have come in contact with, because I've had religious types that were next to me, and then they since fell away. I've had highly spiritual energy types right next to me, and they since fell away. And so there's a common theme going on. The Jilly Juice is not about discrimination. The Jilly Juice is not about remedies. It's not about gurus. It's not about discrimination, period. Jilly Juice is highly inclusive, and it understands the balance of the body, mind, and spirit. It doesn't need a name for your belief system. It's just, hey, you have cells, you have sodium channels, you have specific biochemistries, you have a microbiome. It's all in my book. I think my book's upstairs. It's all in my book. Okay, the viruses, the parasites, the protozoa, the proteins, the fungus and the bacteria. You have fatty acid, amino acid, prohormones, and minerals. You have all of the food supply. Then you have imbalances in your biochemistry. Then you have pain. That's evolution. I'm pointing out in my book that there is an anti-life chemistry, which is the antibiotics, the anti-inflammatories, the anti-parasites, the antifungals, the antimicrobials. Those all shorten your telomeres. And then there's a pro-life type of chemistry, which is a Jilly juice. It has the probiotics, it has the salt, the energizing force. It has the nutrition in the cabbage and kale. Yes, you're going to have to feel pain. You're going to have to evolve. And you may have to take yourself out of the war because you can't serve two masters. Either you're pro-life or you're pro-death. One of the two. And so you have to choose a side when it comes to life or death. So then, then I realized that yes, most people out there, if not all people out there, unless they're doing the Jilly juice at the level that they should, they're going to be highly discriminatory. Coming from the imbalances of love and hate, they're going to take sides that have nothing to do with life. They'll take a side around the death because, as soon as you put out an opinion, a belief system, a political belief system, and then you denigrate someone for their belief system, you've just declared war on your fellow man. Okay? What is life? It's presenting all the information and giving a person a choice. When you give somebody a choice, then they feel they have the power over their own life, that you don't have power over them. And that's the whole point of the Jilly juice, is giving people the choice. Here's all the information. Whether it's in my book or it's in the videos, there's a specific recipe that you don't modify, except for maybe, you can modify the cabbage ratios. And you follow that, you deal with the pain, and then at some point, when you want to share your journey, you can share it. You can do it anonymously or you don't. And that's it. We have no other words that will explain the Jilly juice except that it follows the laws of life. Do I have a beautiful story around it? Not necessarily. The story around Jilly juice is fraught with major fighting. I was dealing with wars the last 4 years. I've been fighting the war to get this information out. Finally, I took myself out of the war. I have enough substantiation. And I don't really respond to people really. I mean, if someone does give me their opinion and their emotions around whatever I said back when I was in war, then I will give them my evolutionary process and where I'm at today so they can see who I am today, not who I was a couple of years ago. And that's it. Okay? And so I've taken myself out of the war. And that's the point of the Jilly juice, is you take yourself out of the war. Okay? You take yourself out of the war. And then the amazing feeling of where you don't have to offer an opinion, where you don't have to convert someone, you don't have to justify or defend. That's an amazing piece. And all you're doing, and then when you don't have to justify, defend, or convert, or consume, well, you can consuming is okay, but when you don't have to do those types of things that promote war, then it's just about information. And then you focus on the facts, not all of the emotions around facts and the stories around facts. It's just facts. Facts are not exciting. That's why my book is 98 pages long, because facts are not exciting. Now, my next book is going to have more of a story around it because it's going to be seen through the eyes of what I was dealing with during the different times. And so, yes, when you read about racism, when you read about all the isms, those are the stories around the facts of imbalances in the biochemistry. All of the politics, religion, and science are all the stories, and they are entertaining. They are simply entertaining. Okay? And so as long as you know that facts are not entertaining, facts are just facts, they're free, you get them at a dictionary, you get them at a reference material in the library, then you can start creating your own story. That could be beautiful, or it could be highly yucky, and that means you're on a death trajectory. I mean, just look at all the Facebook stories, on your timeline. Look at all the people's stories out there. Some people are like, oh, I'm in the story of cancer and disease and chronic illness. I'm in the story of how everyone hates, I hate everyone, and I hate all this stuff and the politics. So those are all the stories. There's facts somewhere in there, but really the facts are being diluted by all the stories are out there. Okay? And so when you understand the facts of life and the facts of death, and then you look at everybody's stories out there, you realize that our whole way of society is based upon the stories of everybody's perception of the facts. So many truths. Oh my God. And so, it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting once you realize that there is only two absolutes. And so, yes, the Jilly Juice was attracting. The Jilly Juice was attracting a lot of religious types in the beginning, because I attracted the people who still liked all the stories around everything. And I understand that. And then, and then I changed the story up a bit, and then I attracted different people who wanted a different story. And then I realized that that was not where I was going, so I let them go. Okay? And now I'm on my own. I have a few people that are next to me, but they're not trying to influence their story onto me. They're just trying to figure it out for themselves and figure out their own story around the Jilly Juice. Okay? But still based in mostly, if not all, facts. I see you, sugar. So anyway, so the way the Jilly Juice, who I attracted in the beginning, was exactly where I was at in the beginning. Okay, so when you look at who's attracted to you, who your predominant circle is, those are the people that are attracted to your biochemistry, to your story about life. Okay? And if your life is about drinking, if your life is about drugs, if your life is about a story around life and death, you're going to attract those types of people. And that is then your justification. So if you want to see who you are, look at your friends. You want to see a reflection of you, look at your friends. And so, and that's the thing, is the Jilly Juice is a mirror. I've attracted so many different types of people throughout my process, and it was where I was at each moment in time. It was a mirror. So if you've been around me for a while, you will see the different reflections of my biochemistry during that whole process. And if you look at your life, and you look at who you've entertained throughout your life, you are looking at a reflection of who you are on some level. Are you exactly like the person? No, not everybody's exactly like, but there are aspects of each person that you're attracted to. Okay? And who you've attracted. Sugar, come here. All right? So, if anything, let Jilly Juice and my journey be some kind of reflection for all of you as you're going through your journey on the Jilly Juice and your journey through life. Because that's all it is. It's just a reflection. Jilly Juice is a reflection. I mean, that's what the salt crystals are. They're reflections. Salt crystals reflect back the energy, the biochemistry within. That's why you have to add the cabbage, the lactobacillus, the fermentation, the water, because all of that is a reflection of life. When you add, if you have just like pink salt, which has all the minerals, which are very, very, very heavy and very, very imbalanced, that's a reflection of an imbalance, the death trajectory. Now there's salt, and the reason why Jilly Juice with the pink salt worked for a minute, but people were plateauing because the minerals is what stopped people from actually getting to the next level. The minerals what stopped people from getting to the next level. So that's why we evolved right at the beginning of COVID, when I thought that the pink Himalayan salt was going to be stopped at the border because of all the trade and everything, because of the COVID stuff. And then that's where the evolution to the white salt, and then I realized, oh my God, the white salt actually was the source that we needed. Okay? So that's why I tell you guys, if you are doing a healing process with the J Juice, put your crystals away that have all of, your pure crystals, and put away the crystals that have all the different minerals within them, because they're reflecting back imbalances. And if you already have a heavy metal imbalance, and then you have all these crystals with all these different minerals in them, it reflects back a higher angry energy until you balance out your body and counter that. Okay? So just understand that, you know, crystals reflect back. Your attraction, who your crowd is, reflects back of who you are. If you have nobody in your life except for a few people, very few people, then that's a reflection that you are picky and choosy of who you have in your life and why you have them in your life and how often you have them in your life. Okay? I'm not everybody's cup of tea, so I don't see a lot of people very often. Come here, sugar. Come here. Okay? But when I do enjoy people that I do see, you know, even if it's just like every couple weeks. Come here, sugar. Stop. But if you see somebody every single day and then you're pissed at them all the time, well, that's a reflection of you. If you see somebody every couple days and you're always annoyed with them all the time, that's a reflection of you. You know who I see every day is my dog. That's who I wake up with every single day, because my husband's a truck driver. I wake up to my dog every morning. I go to sleep with her every night. She's right next to me all the time. She is a reflection of me. She is a reflection of me. And I cater to her every need. I do. I keep her alive. Just like I keep myself alive. And so, you know, if you want to know who you are, look at your circle of people. And that will tell you who you are. So if you follow me for a while and you've seen who it is has come and went on the Jilly Juice, you'll understand why. You will understand why. And so we all are on our journey. And remember, every single person you hang out with, every single politics, every single religion that you subscribe to is a reflection of you. It's a reflection of tolerance, intolerance, major discrimination. Every single diet, every single guru you follow, every single remedy that you put out there, it's a reflection of you. So, some people don't realize that they are reflecting everything, who they are. But not everybody has discernment enough to read their reflections because they're on automatic pilot or they're just like them. So a lot of my information goes over a lot of people's heads because autopilot and just not in tune with their body, mind, and spirit. I see, it's interesting because this is an example. I was on somebody who's a pre-doc. She's going for her doctorate in nursing, and I knew her from a long time ago, from way back when I was a kid. My parents and her were friends, and we hung out as kids together. But we lost touch along the way. But now she's in nursing, and she's talking about the vaccine for, you know, that's in Houston, or yeah, there's a vaccine that's coming up on the market. It is going to be released sooner than later. And so she wanted people's thoughts on it, but she didn't want to talk about anti-vax. And I'm like, okay, I'm not anti-vax. I'm not any of the, you know, I'm not any of those political persuasions. And I said, you know, vaccines and viruses are evolution. They're evolution. And I was responding a little bit to somebody's comment that's saying that, you know, they're concerned about the efficacy, they're concerned about some of the reactions, you know, the side effects and all that. And you know, it wasn't like she was anti-vax, but she was just concerned about some of the stuff that was in it. But I was responding to my own thread saying that, you know, vaccines are evolution, viruses are evolution. If you have a reaction to a virus or a vaccine, it's because you've suppressed evolution and you have a hard time adapting to your environment. But in of itself, viruses and vaccines are evolution. The adjuvants in the vaccines are just part of your microbiome. I mean, it was all scientific. And this is a girl that's going to be going into doctorate in nursing, right? And she's on automatic pilot. For some reason, she only read probably maybe about 1/3 of that information, because her automatic pilot went into about reaction and vaccines, but she didn't understand what evolution was. She didn't understand evolution. She automatically was like, oh, well, you're entitled to your opinion, Jillian, but I'm not anti-vax. I'm like, there is nothing in my post that says anything anti-vax, or in my comment that says anything anti-vax. If anything, I was agreeing with you that vaccines are, that are necessary for those that have trouble evolving. They need a lesser version of the evolution process, right? No, she automatically, if it didn't go along a specific automatic pilot lines of what she's been taught through academia. Stop it, sugar. Come here. If it didn't go along with all the lines of what academia taught her as far as vaccines, it was something that she would construe as anti-vax. And how could somebody construe that when I say a vaccine is like evolution and viruses are evolution, how is that anti-vax? And I told her to read the article, or read my post closer, look up evolution. When people have reactions to viruses or vaccines, it's because they have an inability to evolve to their current environment. And then she went on to all of her stuff about, well, if you keep continuing to infect people with this ideology, what? Vaccines are evolution? Viruses are evolution. How is that infecting anyone with anything that's negative? No, it's actually agreeing with you. But that's what I'm saying. We're dealing with people who are automatic, who do not have discernment to understand that they are reflecting back their death trajectory by their belief system, by their practices, by who they surround themselves with, by the very industries that they're in, and then they call it life. And so no matter what, there are two absolutes in this world, life or death. And you either apply the laws of life to your body or you apply the laws of death to your body, and there are indicators. If you cannot read the indicators, then you obviously have a misalignment in the body, mind, and spirit. And if you believe people should die at some point, then it's going to justify everything that you're doing. Okay? And so that's why my information goes over many people's heads, because everybody out there that's not doing the Jilly Juice is following the death trajectory, and they're justifying it, and they're rationalizing it, and they're just parodying the party line. And maybe if you do J Juice long enough, you stop parodying the party line, you take yourself out of the war, and you start actually reflecting a life trajectory, a life process. But that's going to take some time. Not many are really reflecting that. There's a few of my J Juice crowd that are going along those same lines, that are seeing it and reflecting it, but very few and far between. Very few and far between. So if it's hard in my J Juice crowd, I know it's completely right now impossible unless somebody sees a glimmer of possibility with the J Juice. Because there's people here in my county that are dealing with the COVID. They just got diagnosed with COVID. I actually see two people on my Facebook. One's like in California, another one's here in Canton, Ohio. They have to be on 14-day quarantine. They just came back from different places like Florida or some other places, and they were doing all the masking and the washing the hands and the gloves and all that, and they still caught the COVID. So you're not immune to the COVID out there. You've got to deal with it no matter what. But you got to support your body correctly to deal with the evolution, which is this COVID. And if you don't, well, yeah, you're going to have a hard time. I'm going to go, but good luck to all of you. Do the J Juice. Bye.